What is Doughnut's favorite day? Friday! Today we'll be making donuts. We're gonna do a basic glaze and I will make some fancy creme brulee donuts. I quite like the softer melt in your mouth version of donuts, so those are what we are aiming for today. So keep watching if you want a wholesome laugh because the jokes do not stop. In a mixer bowl with a dough hook attachment, we are just gonna dump all the ingredients in besides butter. I like to start with the wet ingredients first, as this prevents dry flour clumping up at the bottom of the bowl. Now we will start mixing on low until it kind of forms a shaggy dough before we go on high speed for 4 minutes. What did the blonde say when she saw a box of Cheerios? Oh my god, donut seeds! So after 4 minutes, it should look something like this. Smooth and elastic. I'm gonna do a quick check, and yes, it is indeed very stretchy. Now it's time to add in the butter. We do this 1 cube at a time to prevent the dough from becoming an oily, sloppy mess. Also, I'm using cold butter cubes because the room temperature is actually quite warm, so it does melt quite fast. The dough is also getting quite heated up from all yeast mixing, so I don't really want it to be overheated and the yeast ferment too quickly. So cold butter it is. Just make sure you cut it into small manageable cubes, otherwise your mixer will be having a very tough time. Once all the butter is in, we'll just let it go on high speed for another minute. And that's it! The dough is done. So just a quick check to see how flexible this dough is. It's insane. It can stretch until that thin. Wow. That will give you a very soft donut. We will proof this in an oil bowl. Before putting it in the bowl, I like to give it a quick stretch for 6 times until it becomes a round, tight ball. And as usual, you have to give it that pat. I like to proof it in a closed box like an oven or a microwave. However, you can just put plastic over it and that's also fine. I proof this for an hour until double the size. Isn't it adorable? We're gonna cut the donuts with some cookie cutters, and I like to prepare some baking paper as well to put each individual donut so it's easier to put them into the frying pan. Take your dough straight away onto an unfloured surface. Since there's some oil on the dough, it should not stick on the table. Otherwise, if it is sticking, I would recommend using oil instead of flour, as I feel flour kinda dries out the donut surface a bit, which I do not really like. So we'll roll this out really gently, trying to keep it as square as possible, and until it is 1 centimeter thick. Now take the cookie cutter and make imprints first so you can get as many cutouts as possible. Once you have it all planned out, we can start cutting it out. So just a firm push down and a slight twist to loosen the edges, and there you have it. I'm doing 4 donuts with holes and 4 without, as I kind of want to do a few different variations. For the donut with the hole, I stamp the outer ring first and then the inner ring before removing the cutters. This prevents the circle to get a bit wonky, as sometimes I know it does. You know, the donut's actually quite healthy because it's fat-free in the middle. Why did a donut go to therapy? Because it never felt whole. And this goes to proof for another hour. Do you know why my mom returned her donut? Because there's a hole inside. Okay, so for the donut holes, we're gonna keep it all and fry those up as well. So with all these spare cutout parts, I like to punch out as many donut holes as I can instead of like smushing it all together and forming a dough again, because I feel like it becomes really dense after. After the second proof, we are ready to fry. Sacrifice one donut hole to test if your oil is ready, and you can pop your donuts into the oil. See, the baking paper makes it so much easier, I feel. Also, using chopsticks to flip your donuts makes it a whole lot easier as well. Cook the donuts for a minute on each side, and once it has this nice golden brown color, you can take it off the heat. I do like my donuts a little bit on the darker side because I feel like it has more of that toasty flavor that I really like. When frying the donut holes, make sure you are constantly like rolling and moving the donut holes around, as it tends to puff up and just fry on one side, and you can never flip them, so just roll it around the oil. Once all is cooked, we can put the toppings on. Comment down below what's your favorite type of toppings on your donuts. So, cinnamon sugar. Really simple, just icing sugar, some cinnamon, mix it all up, and coat your donuts with it. So, for the donut holes, I'll be using this coat. You can also use caster sugar, but I did not have any, so icing sugar it is. Next, sugar glaze. This is also really simple, just icing sugar, some water, and vanilla if you wish. Just mix it all up until it forms a smooth and molten-y paste. You need the right consistency, otherwise it will either be too thick or it'll just run off your donut. So this is the right consistency we're going for. So just pull the spoon and it should join back in 10 seconds. Since I'm glazing 3 donuts, I'm not gonna make a big bowl and like dip them in or whatnot. I'm just gonna make a small quantity and pour it over. And it makes a nice drip effect as well. Give it a gentle tap to let the excess drip. Next is the creme brulee. I've been really obsessed with this ever since I had it in New York. This is a vanilla custard, which you can make in the link up above. Fill it in a piping bag. Take your donut and a chopstick, make a hole, kind of move it around to give space, and really stuff that custard into the donut. It should feel significantly heavier. Now onto the crackly caramel. In a dry pan, over low heat, slowly melt your sugar until it reaches a caramel color. You want to do this slowly so that the sugar crystals all melt evenly, giving you a very nice even caramel color. Golden brown like this. And then very carefully just coat the top layer and put it back on the rack. It is really hot, so be very careful. And just let it set on the cooling rack into this nice, shiny, crackly coat. So that is my basic donut recipe. You can fill it up with anything and everything you like in the world. You can put some Oreos, Nutella. Okay, I'm gonna stop being a weirdo now. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next one.